Hello, this is Joanne Hewins from LoveToCreate.typepad.com. Today I want to talk to you about a new kit that we have in the online store in the Kits Collection section, and it is called the Festive Tags Kit. It is a cute little kit. If you're ready to think about Christmas, this is a kit for you. And why? Because during the month of August, the Kits collection is all on sale. You will find that some of the kits are 10%, 20%, or 30% off. And this kit, since it's brand new, is still for sale, and it is for 10% off. So in the US, it's a $13 kit, and it's on sale for $11.70. So that's pretty neat. You get in this kit the components to make 3 of each of these 5 cards. So that's 15 tags, not cards, tags that you can make with this kit. Or today I'm going to show you a few alternatives that you might could do if you would like to make some Christmas cards. And it's really not too early. It will be here before you know it. How many of you can't believe it's August yet? So let me take this box away, or open the box, and let you see what's inside. So these are 3 of the tags. And then here are the other 2. And let me tell you that this kit has no stamping to it. It's really quick, and everything you need is included in the kit. When you open the box, you'll see all of the things shrink wrapped in there. Let me move that out of the way. And just open it up, and you're going to have everything that you need. So I'm just going to open this up. Hopefully that went across there. And show you that, well, I'm having a little trouble here, but it's okay. I want to show you that everything is in here, but the most important thing is on the back of your cardboard, and that's your direction sheet. Although these are kind of self-explanatory, I think if you just look at the pictures, you can pretty much figure it out if you want to do it exactly as shown. But inside, the directions are in full color, and it goes through each tag and shows you exactly what to do for each tag. So it's easy peasy, let me just tell you. So I've already opened a kit, and I have most of the components, but I want to pull this sheet out and show you that here's all of your words. And these are stickers, and let me tell you, they stick really well. And they are in German and French, as well as English. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to make the kit, and I have already pulled apart. In fact, I have enough in my original kit to make the cards. Or I'll keep calling them cards. They're not cards. I'm so used to making cards, but I have enough, and we'll be using this. Although I'll have to pull out the stuff from this kit, I suppose, to make the cards that I want to show you later. So everything is just punched out quickly and easily, and I'll probably get into that a little bit later. So let's go ahead and make the kits. The kit, okay? Watch my words there. So the first one is the one with the ornament. And here are my pieces that I have for that. I'm going to just kind of move these out of the way. And it's going to tell me that I need to put dimensionals on the back of my ornament. Okay. And then I'm going to cut a string that is 8 1/4 inches long. I've already done that, but let me show you something on here. They have a measurement or a ruler on here, and they have it in metric. They also have it in inches, and you can just start at the 0, go right to 8 1/4. Easy. You don't even have to pull anything else out. So the next thing it's going to tell us to do is to take this piece and put our ornament on there. And then I'm going to punch out those circles. And then this one is going to go on top. You're going to fold your twine in half and just stick it through this hole. Well, it's really easy. Then open up that loop and pull this, and there is your twine in there. And then you want to add a word for that, and the word for this one is "for you." So I'm going to pull that off, and I told you that it sticks really well, so I'm going to try to center that in a way. Probably should have gone up a little bit more on this side. And then we have some embellishments to put on there. So let me turn to my pointy end over here on my tool. And so I'm just going to add an embellishment down here for that. And that's all it calls for. Of course, you can put more on that if you would like. And here it is. It's finished. See how quick? So there's that tag. And it goes along with this other one that I made right there. But you can see how quick. So let me set those aside, and we're going to pull in the snowman. So I'm going to put dimensionals, and those do come in the kit. Now the dimensionals that come in these kits are just a little bit thicker than the ones that we purchase from Stampin' Up. If I had my choice, I would pick the thinner ones, but for this purpose, we'll just put this on, and I'm going to add that to that tag. And then I need my twine. Punch out my holes here in both of those. Fold it in half. Well, twine troubles. And just open that up, pull it through, and then we are going to add some of our gold dots, a couple here, and another one here. Now there's kind of hidden under there, peeping out, but I'm going to have mine shining. So of course you can make changes in what you're making if you want to. That's just fine. So on my papers, I'm going to find Be Merry. And that's going to go down here across the bottom of our snowman. And that one is done. That one is done. So now I've got those. Okay, next we're going to work on the flower. And this is what it looks like. And let me find my pieces. I had everything all organized. Oh, you know what? I bet it's under here. It is. So we're going to take, well, let me see. I did leave one out here. Well, let me get the other kit, and I'll punch that out real fast because that one is laying around here somewhere, and I'll find it in a few minutes. So I'm going to take my flowers, and I'm going to put dimensionals on this end. I'm looking here, and it has those little 3 flowers sticking there this way. So I'm going to add my dimensionals right in here. go on that tag. I'm getting dimensionals everywhere. And then I will, oh, there that is. Right there. I'll just put it back with the other kit. It's amazing that you can't see what's right in front of your face sometimes, isn't it? So this is going to go like this, but I'm going to add the saying to that, which is Merry Christmas. So I'm going to find Merry. Oops, might be a little crooked with that, and Christmas. There we go. And then we'll take our twine, fold it in half, stick it through the tool holes, open that up, pull that through, and then I think we just have one more thing, and they, in the directions, have one of these gold dots just right in the middle of the flower. So here are our two tags with that. Then they have the wreath. So let me bring that in so you can see it. And we're going to put dimensionals on the back of our wreath. So we're going to put one down here, one there, and another one in there somewhere. Now you might have to be careful how you lay that on there so it doesn't stick out. So I'll take the backings off of that. And I'm going to put my joy on with my little pieces hanging over a little, like that. And then the next thing I'm going to do is bring this in, and I'm going to find this word joy. It's a sticker as well. So, and it sticks to your hands. I'm going to stick that in there. Easy. And then again, we're going to, and I see I've got my dimensional sticking out, but it's going to be all right because it's going to go on that other tag. So I'll pull out those centers, get my twine that I've already measured, and adhere that. And there we go with that. We still have a few little gold dots to add, and they're telling us to do one like right there, and then two more down here. See how easy that is? And here's these tags. This would be a great gift to someone, especially someone who maybe can't do as much. They could do this, I think, for sure. And younger people, I'm thinking my granddaughter Sagan could probably do this card as well. So now, let's see, I've got a piece. That's where that goes. So I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of this snowman. And he's going to go, oh, I'm sorry, moving things around. He's going to go right in here. He needs the word Noel, which is right here. Now, I'm from America, so I'm not going to need this Noel, but I was thinking, you know, I can cut that out and just cut those two little dots away and certainly use that. So think about that. You could use just the joy on this. So there are things that you can use anyway. They're a little extra. So down here at the bottom, I'm going to stick my Noel. Get the dots out. Okay, and if you think you don't need to watch this part about putting the tags together, but you would like to see the cards that I've made, feel free, if you're watching this, to fast forward and go to the cards. But we're almost through here. Okay, so I've got all of the 5 tags that I've made, and a third of the kit is done, or actually 2/3 of the kit for me, because now I have 10 tags ready for Christmas. I think they are just so pretty. You can do the to and from on the back, and you're ready to go. So I'm going to kind of move this aside, and we'll get down to some things that I did extra for some cards. So let me take these directions and put them away as well. Got 2 sets of those now, but I think I can do it without them. Okay, so let me start with this first card, and I'm going to have to pull out some of the pieces from the kit that I've got. So I'm going to be using, I used them just now, I had them sitting out and I used them. So I'm going to get this red one and use it. I thought that was 2 together. I guess that's thicker than I thought. And I'm going to need to get the, let's see, oh gosh, see, what, making a mess. Here we go, the wreath. Now, I didn't care as much for the wreath. And when we look at the tags, it was on, I guess it's Flirty Flamingo. And I thought, let's put that on red. If I'm changing it, I can do it the way I want it. So I'm going to use that on the red. I'll go ahead and put my dimensionals. I'm going to change to my dimensionals that are a little bit thinner, because you got to think about mailing stuff. Okay. And again, watch how you put these on so they don't extend beyond. So I'm going to put that on here. Let me move. Okay, like that. I'm going to come to the sheet with the words and get the joy from that. Notice I'm just kind of using 2 kits together, I guess. So I'm going to put that joy there. And then I'm going to use this red ribbon. This is in the annual catalog and with the ribbons. And it is the Real Red and Garden Green combo ribbon. Real Red and Garden Green. So I'm going to be using the red. I'm about out of the green. And first of all, let me show you on my base that I ran it through my machine with this new embossing folder. It's called the Snowflake Sky 3D embossing folder. And to do that, what I did was I placed it like this. You want to place it actually so that the Stampin' Up! Is on the top, so you'll have that on the right side. And I just fixed it, so, well, let's just pretend this is the one. I just fixed it so that that little edge or the fold was right around there, and close it and run it through. Okay, so I've done that already, and I'm going to take a piece of my red. Sorry, I had to walk over and get some Scotch tape, because I'm going to put a piece of Scotch tape here and run this around. I'm not a ribbon maker, so I'm going to do that and kind of match that I'm going to put another piece of tape, and all of this is going to go under where the tag will be. So I'll put that like that, and then I'm going to bring in a ribbon maker or a bow maker that I have, and I'm just going to kind of measure and make a bow. That might be the lazy person's way, but it's my way. So I'm going to do that. Now, Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell bow makers, but if you just Google that, you're going to find someone who sells these. Okay, so I've got my bow. So I'm going to add this piece with dimensionals. Okay, I think I'm going to put one right under there as well. I don't need that hole opened. It's going to be covered with ribbon. Okay, so this will go right here. And then I'll get a glue dot. And I'll just put the bow right on the glue dot. Hopefully it will come off with it. And the bow is going to go there. I think that in this sample, I cut the top of that off. Here I didn't, but you know what? It's not going to matter. Either way will be fine. And I'm going to cut that a little bit. All right, and then I'm going to need to get my little gold dots from this other kit. I've got 2 left from the other one. So I'll put 2 up here. Now if you run out of your little gold dots and you don't get to do everything you want, then just switch over to some other embellishment. So there is the first card that I made as an alternative using this tag. So let me move those out of the way. I'll move them back in a little bit. And the next card I'm going to show you is made, oh, I'm having a hard time picking it up with my fingernails. Hold on. Ah, I've got trees everywhere. Help, trees. Okay, so I'm going to be using this tag with the Christmas tree. And let me get the parts that I'm going to need with that. I'm going to need this tag. I should have had that laid out a little bit better, I guess. This tag, I'm going to use either this tag or this tag. And I need the tree. Okay, so what I did with this was I used the Christmas trees that you can cut out with the Zany Zoo tree dies, or the Zany Zoo dies, and it has a large tree and a small tree. I used the large ones. You could mix it up if you wanted to, but that's what I did. So I'm also using thick white, thick basic white, and I'm going to fold my paper. Let me get a bone folder. And let's talk first about tree placement. And this is what I did. I took first of all, I'm going to lay my card straight on my grid paper. And I'm going to kind of figure out a place that I want the trees to start. And I might move up a little bit. And I'm going to take my pencil that I had here, and I'm going to lightly make a line there and over here. And then I'm going to move down about 2 of these spaces, about 1/2 inch. It's still straight on there, and I'm going to do that again. And so I'm ready to add my trees. And before I used glue dots to do that, I'm going to try to do it with just my multi-purpose glue. So there are holes in there, so try not to get a lot, is what I'm saying. So I'm going to, and that is coming through. So I believe I'll go back to the glue dots to add those. Okay, so I'm going to add a glue dot here and another one there. Sometimes you just have to try. And so I had problems because they want to stick to my fingers. Okay, I'm going to go up here to that line and add a tree. And then we'll just repeat with that. So a dot here, a dot here. I'm getting a little low on my roll, but that's okay. That's supposed to happen after a while, isn't it? Yeah, it's much better with the glue dots. Much better. Okay. Here. And here. And by there, my tag is going to cover everything up. So I'm going to go to the other side, and I already have my lines. So I'll do here. And I believe that's going to do it with that. Hold on just a second. I've got it. And here. So we'll start here. This way I don't have to worry about whether or not the tree ends up halfway across. I just start it, and I hope nobody's going to try to figure out if that's going to work out. If they do, they deserve to know. And then one here. And then the last one, I cut out 7 of these, and I used garden green to cut those out because that's the color of the tree on the tag. So I think I've got that. Okay, and I should be able to just erase that since I did it lightly. Just kind of erase, oops, my lines. And if I don't get it quite good enough right now, I'll just go back in a little while. And I see I need to do a little work about some of that glue sticking out, but I'm not going to worry about that now. Now for this card, I used the tailor-made tags, and I cut out a tag. I shortened it by just doing this and cutting it this way. But then as I was getting ready for this video, I noticed that I hadn't used this. So I think I'm going to use this instead. I don't want it to be that big and that long. So I think what I'm going to do is take my trimmer, and I'm probably going to cut off about that much from the top. And I think I'll cut 1/4 of an inch off of each side. If I do the cutting off of each side, then it's still going to be even on your pieces. I think I'll turn that over and measure that way. Okay, so let's see how that measures with the tag that I had used before. Okay, pretty close, so that will work. I'm going to put this, I'm going to cut this off of the end of this. And then I'm going to add it. Well, I can't do that anymore. I'll add it to the top, I guess. And maybe part of that will show. So I'm going to just put a little bit of glue in the center of that. Forgot about the tag on that, or the banner bottom. I might do that just so there's a little bit of the original color showing. And then I'm going to take my scissors and just cut that extra off. Okay. Dimensionals on the back. Okay, and that's going to go like that. I think I'm going to change that a little bit. I had put Merry Christmas down here at the bottom, but I think I'm going to come back in here and pick Merry and put that up here near the top. And put Christmas down near the bottom. I told you those really stick. Okay, I like that better, I think. And then this is going to go on the card. And I am going to use another group of dimensionals on that. Okay, so this will go like this. Okay, my little dots will go on the top of each tree that you can see. No need to have them behind, is there? Okay. And then another bow. And do I have enough? I do have enough. So let me bring in my bow machine. And we'll tie that bow. So when we're done, I'm going to have 10 Christmas cards done and 10 tags. I think that's pretty much of an accomplishment with actually two kits. I'm sorry, I can't get my words. 2 kits. Let me get some glue dots. And I think I'll just put that one right up there. Like that. And then let me trim. And there's that card. So it's a little bit different than the one I did before. I don't know which one you like best, but I did use part of the kit on that one instead of bringing in the tailor-made tags and extra Lost Lagoon. Okay, so there we go with that. The next card that I made, I used with the snowman. And this is a pool party, I believe. Yep. So I'm going to fold that card. And I used one of the new stamp sets. And hold on. I'm sorry, I had a couple of customers that came in yesterday and I was showing them what I had ordered. So what we're going to be using is sparkling snowflakes, and I'm going to be using these 3 and just stamping. So here are the 3 that I'm going to use, and I'm going to start with the, let's see, I'm using Lost Lagoon, I think. It's hard to tell the difference in them. I think I started with the Pool Party. So I'm going to open that up. I'm going to use the largest snowflake, and I'm just going to stamp. This is a photopolymer stamp set, and I have just a little bit of a weakness for snowflakes. So I did get this. Now this comes with the punch. I'll look in just a minute and see if I can find it. And I'm going to do just some edges on that, I think. Okay, so there's one color. Then I'll take this next one. I usually try to start with the largest and work my way down in size. So this is the middle size, and I'm going to be using fresh freesia. So I'm going to add some of that around. And part of that, of course, is going to end up being hidden behind the tag. But I want to make sure that some of that shows. All right, and then I'm going to go to Lost Lagoon. I didn't see a lot of difference in the color of the Lost Lagoon and the Pool Party on the paper. Let me get the smaller one. And we'll just, well, you might can tell a little bit more than I thought. Okay, and then the tag is going to cover a good deal of that and the ribbon. So I think I might just do a little corner there and stop. Okay, so we're ready to assemble the rest. All right, so I'm going to pull in the snowman and the black plaid. For that, I'm going to pull in my trimmer and cut off the top of that tag just as close as I can. There. And that does leave 2 rounded ends and 2 straight ends, but I'm not going to let that bother me. So I'm going to put dimensionals, trying to make sure I get mine and not the one from the kit. Those thicker dimensionals are wonderful for tags, but I don't like them so much for cards. So I'm going to add my snowman. I'm going to put it so the rounded ends are on the bottom. And then I'm going to bring in this sheet and get the Be Merry. Up here it is. And I tried to put that on my snowman kind of so it looked like he's holding the sign. So that was my thought. Okay, we'll go ahead and bring in our dots and add those. And then we're ready to attach all of that to the card. And what I did, I used the black and white gingham. Now there is a black and white, well actually let me change that, a black and very vanilla gingham in the new catalog. But I don't have that, so and my snowman is white, so we're going to use that. I'm going to just add that with a piece of Scotch tape. I'm going to go around and try to even that up a little. And then I'm just going to add another piece of Scotch tape To me, that's just the easiest way to do it, and you're going to hide it so no one will know. Okay, so I did come a little bit staggered on that. I'll just move that up a little bit. And then we're going to add our tag, and I think I'm going to make it angle a little bit. And I don't think I'm going to put any more dimensionals on that. I'm just going to put it there. And then we'll add a bow. And I found a little bow on something else a while ago that I was getting ready to toss. So I thought, well, I'm not going to toss that bow. I'm just going to use it on this project. So I'm going to add a glue dot to the back and just put it right in there. And that's this card. So you see, that's pretty quick. So we have 2 more. And let me bring in what we're going to do with this piece. So let me fold that. This is thick, basic white. And I thought that the new stamp set that we have called Magical Meadow, I felt like this part resembled that part, and that this part kind of resembled this a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stamp those. Okay, I'm going to pull in for just a minute my cleaner and clean these snowflakes, or I'm going to end up with ink everywhere, and we're going to use those again for the 5th card. So let me just get them out of the way. And I'm going to be using Garden Green and Lost Lagoon for that. So there are those. I thought I couldn't find my Garden Green, but there it is. So I'm going to stamp that first. And I think I'll do the green first. And I'll be using, I already have this one right here with that. So I'm going to try to mimic the paper that came with that. I probably should have had that over here. Oops, you know what? We'll try to cover that up with something, and let me get a piece of paper. Got a little overzealous there. But I think we can cover that up, hopefully. And then I'm going to just tap lightly and come back down this way. And then I'll do one under here. And then I'll come up the other side. Okay, so there's the green. And then I'm going to use my Lost Lagoon. Now, I noticed yesterday when I was making these up that my Lost Lagoon is a little juicy. And I didn't think this was the first one I attempted. I'm going to take my bone folder and move away some of that ink on this. Some of our newer pads are coming just with too much ink, and I don't want to waste it. So if I move it, then maybe I can use it later. So I'm going to tap, and hopefully I can cover up some of that green. Not looking the best, but I'm just going to go on for the sake of the video. And just in between those, I'm doing another of the Lost Lagoon. Okay, so there's that. So I'm going to use the flower. And I'm going to use this one that I didn't use for one of the others. And again, I'm just going to cut that top off. you're liking these. I know this is probably running long, but when we're done, we'll have 5 tags and 5 cards. So there you go. So I'm going to use with this one the Simply Elegant Trim. This is in the annual catalog as well. I'm going to use the silver. Now for the first one, I did a thing that went around. I'm not sure that I need that, so let's try it without and see what happens. But I'm going to take some snail. Excuse me, what I had is the old thing. I do have the other, but this one was closer. And I'm just going to add some of this back here. And we may have to kind of move it some ways else. Okay, maybe I'll put there. Okay. We'll try that. Let me cut that off. And I'm going to put, I think that tag will hold that down. I'm going to put I'm trying to figure out where I want to put my dimensionals. I'll tell you what, I think I'm going to try putting my dimensionals directly on this. And I really didn't want it on the ribbon, but I'm going to put it that way right there to maybe hold that down. And I think I'll put one right up here and maybe one right in there. Okay, and then I'll just peel that off. Now I think for the first one I probably put the dimensionals on the cutout. But you know, you find different situations, different things look like they're going to work. So I'm going to put this like that. And oops, I have a bit of a dimensional sticking out. I'm just going to push that up in there. Hope that it stays. And for this one, I'm going to add, I used an old retired thing there, but I will just put that from there. And so this, we're going to add the word Noel from right here, up here. And then I am going to put dimensionals on the back of that again. Well, do you like it better with that silver that goes around, or is that necessary? Okay, you can comment on my video. Let me know which you think is best. And we're getting down to the last. Let me put that. I think I'll move it over here to the middle. What do you think about that? So there's that card. And we have one more card. Let me pull it in. Okay. Let me fold. This is from Coastal Cabana paper. And I know that I have, there it is. I think I'm going to use that in for right now because I did just use that ink on that other end. Okay, and this is going to go in this direction. And I'm going to do some stamping first. And I'm going to use the Coastal Cabana ink. And I'm going to bring back in, I think, that middle size. No? Let's see. I think I used the smallest. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp first because I added this later as I was designing it, and you can see that didn't work. What I did was I put, not this, but a piece of paper there and tried to stamp, and it just didn't do. So let's stamp it first. We won't have that problem, and we'll just be stamping the top part of it. So I'm just going to randomly stamp some of that, of course, is going to end up being behind the tag. I think that will. Okay, I'm going to add just a tiny bit to that corner and maybe just a tiny bit right there. Okay. All right. So I am using for that, the paper for that, the Brights paper. And I've cut this piece with the dots. I use the other side. You could use the dots or whichever. So I cut that piece at 2 inches by 4 1/4. And I actually usually cut paper like that just a tiny bit long, just in case I've cut the card a little bit long. You know, you can't cut those perfectly every time. So I'm going to add that to the front. And I do see that I went a little bit long with that paper, so I'm going to get scissors. It's easier for me to trim from the back. I'm just going to trim down that little piece. Could have waited a few minutes because I'm also going to add a piece of gold foil. I'm going to bring in my cutter and just cut 1/4 of an inch off of this scrap that I have. And that's probably glaring. Let me get it out of the way quickly. And I'm just going to add the tiniest bit of glue that I can across there. And I'll just add that right there and just butt it up to that paper right there. So this is the gold foil. This is the Sparkling Snowflakes stamp set, and there's that. So for the tag, I'm going to need, let's see what I'm going to need. This. So we've used this whole sheet now, and then I'm going to need. Probably didn't think this quite through as far as ease of taping this and having the pieces, but this isn't too bad. And then I'm also going to get this piece right here. All right, now I'm going to make this piece go on here, but I want to do a little bit of the twine on that. Let me bring in my little roll of twine. I'm going to cut it about like that for now. But I need a hole. I'm going to bring in an old retired piece and just punch a hole. I'm not even sure what size that is. Wait a minute, 1/8 inch. So now I can put the twine through here. Okay, sometimes easier said than done. There you go. Pull it through. Put this piece through it and pull. And we're ready to add some dimensionals. I am the worst, the absolute worst, to just throw dimensionals somewhere. And here, I can use these. Okay. Actually, I think that might be an old. Let's use this. So I'm going to add the dimensionals to this. And add my ornament this way. And you can cut that shorter if you want. I think I will. And then I brought in the For You. I sort pour toi. Okay, my eyes cannot see it. This is because I have used it all, and it's from the other new one. And you know I had it. Here it is. So, okay, I'm almost done. There's the For You. We're going to add that on there. And then we're going to add this on here, and I'm just going to match those two things, and I'm just going to glue that on. Okay, so we're just going to glue that on like that. Make sure nothing's coming out. And then for this, I'm going to use this ribbon, which is the gold and silver trim combo pack. I can't say it. Gold and silver trim combo pack. This is an online exclusive ribbon, and I'm just going to fold it, and I'm going to fold it like this because it's different on the back, and I want both of those to show the same. So I'm going to put that there. I'm going to put a glue dot under here. And then I'm just going to kind of lay that like this. And I see it came loose on this one. I'll work on it. Okay, so I wanted it to look kind of like that. And we'll trim that again so that it's just kind of like that and that on there. And then we'll add this to the card. You can add it with dimensionals if you wish. I think I'll just go ahead and do that. Okay. And so there we are. So once again, this is the Festive Tags Kit from the Kits collection in the online store. And we just made our tags. You can usually make 15 tags. And we're going to make it so that you can make 10 tags and 10 tags and 5 cards, or you can make 5 cards, or I'm sorry, 10 cards and 5 tags, or you can do 15 of each, whichever you wish to do. So let me pull in the cards that I made with this, and I'm just going to I'm not going to put 2 of everything out. Try to save my name there. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I do have an online store and would love to order supplies. If you don't have another demonstrator, that would just be so great. Go to lovetocreate.typepad.com and you can shop from there. This will be a blog post, and I will put the link to my blog post under this video. Now also let me bring in, if I can get to them, you wouldn't believe the mess I have made. And here are the tags. I'll kind of put it with the card that I used. Now that one I kind of changed the backgrounds of that. There's the tree, and then we need the snowman tag. So there it is, all together. Uh, hope that you learned something. Hope that you enjoyed this. Hope that you'll try the kit. My advice is during the month of August, while the kits are 10, 20, or 30% off, go to my online store or your demonstrator's own store and look at all of those. There are some great ones. There's a birthday organizer, birthday cards. I haven't been on there. I'm afraid probably that since the sale started, some of these could be not available now. They could be sold out until more can come in. But go take a look and see if there are some kits that you think you would enjoy. Thank you so much for joining me today. Bye-bye.